We've got 3 models for the TaylorMade Stealth 2 fairway woods. HD, the normal Stealth 2, and the Stealth 2 Plus. Which one's right for you? Well, there's a lot to choose from, so let's find out. So there are 3 models to choose from with the Stealth 2 fairway woods. The Stealth 2 HD, then going on to the Stealth 2, and then the Stealth 2 Plus. I believe the Stealth 2 Plus is more of the flagship model as it is more expensive. In essence, there is kind of 3 fairway woods in the Stealth Plus. So we're gonna hit this one first, then move on to the Stealth, then move on to the Stealth 2 HD. Now what I mean when I'm saying there's 3 models in this fairway wood is because there is a massive 50-gram steel weight in this club. It's a changeable weight, so it can be moved closer towards the face, towards the middle, and then towards the back. This will affect the launch and the spin. So this club can be a rocket 3-wood, something that's almost like a 300-yard club for the PGA Tour players, or it can be a little bit spinnier, a little bit higher launching for that club you want to hit on the green in 2 on par 5s. What I'm going to do is we're going to start with the weight right at the front. So the lowest CG, the lowest spinning, the lowest launching, and slowly move it back. As well as this, talking about all of the Stealth 2 family, we have got some new variable face thickness in these fairway woods. Not carbon woods, metal woods because of the titanium face. That's supposed to help maximize ball speeds, and also we've got a new carbon crown that is lighter, that actually wraps around the club, and that weight that is saved can then be distributed to then maximize MOI. So similar to the drivers, max forgiveness in all these models. Absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. But I mean, it's a good start. I think similar to my Callaway video I did, the first shot I hit with the 3-wood was absolutely awful, and that one went straight down the middle of the fairway. So blocked it, and it was awful. The feel thing that I'm talking about with these fairway woods is when you're hitting it out the center, which I haven't done yet, it feels a little bit more pleasing, a little more solid. I find that quite interesting because I found that in the drivers, because of the carbon face, it feels a little bit different. But even with the Stealth 2 fairway woods, it feels a little bit more pleasing off the face, which I imagine is based on the feedback that TaylorMade got from the original Stealth. Yeah, hammered that one. I'm expecting the spin to be a little bit low, and it is appearing to be about 3,000. But I mean, 3,000 spin, 167 ball speed, and going 303 yards, I think would constitute as a rocket 3-wood. I think you probably agree. Oh, I blocked it. Blocked it slightly, it was a good shot. But you can see that the miss of slightly high and right is in play for me. So I don't think that this is gonna actually be particularly low launching, but ball speed's consistent. Yeah, that was a good one. So it looks like the ideal shot here for the Stealth 2 Plus, when I've got it at that low CG, weight as far forwards from 50 grams, is about, I think identical to that shot that I hit before, about 167. Probably I can get to about 170 mile an hour ball speed, but 3,000 spin, launching about 15 or so degrees. But you can see it still launches pretty high, 16 degrees there with ball speed of 165.4 mile an hour average. And I mean, overall those numbers are pretty much what I'd expect. Descent angle is quite high, but not as low launching as I'd expect. Let's move the weight to the middle now and see what differences there actually are. I mean, that's higher. that's higher already. Right out the middle, that one. And that's, as you guys can see, a fair sight higher spin. Wow. And about a degree and a half higher launch. I'm a big fan of the rocket. Pushed it down. It's almost like, well, fairway finder is a bit of a stretch because I'm not hitting the fairway with it, but it can almost replace a driver for a lot of players. Yeah, that's better. So that was slightly more, that was a lot lower. Managed to actually keep that down that time, but spin still climbed up. So a little bit inconsistent for that launch angle, but that's more of a me thing. Yeah, really good, that one. That was my best swing of the day, absolutely. 290 yards, slightly lower spin on that one, because it was a little bit out of the toe, if anything, but we're starting to see a slight trend now, aren't we? Ball speed isn't really going to change. A weight's not really going to change that much, but you can see there's 2 clear metrics that are changing here, which then leading to the carry and total distance changing, and that is the launch angle and backspin. Yeah, another really good one. Getting a little bit more used to the weight being in the middle now, because now I've hit a little bit more consistent, so it almost seems that this one's a little bit more forgiving when you put that weight in the middle because the spin's climbing a little bit higher. Just overall, it feels a little bit easier to hit the fairway. Might just be me, but with that CG a little bit further back, it feels a little bit more like it's a club that will find the fairway. He says, then misses the fairway. Lovely. That's a kind of miss that I've had throughout today. And you can see though, that miss has gone a lot shorter than with the plus when the weight is moved all the way to the bottom. So what we can see here is quite a considerable difference between the Stealth 2 Plus and then the Stealth 2 Plus with the weight in the middle. Ignore, it says driver and fairway. Driver is a Stealth 2 Plus with the weight fully pushed to the bottom. And ball speeds are pretty much exactly the same. I know there is a 1 or 2 mile an hour difference, but that's just down to the ball striking. But what I find interesting is launch angle is not that different. That's more down towards actually where I'm hitting it across the face. But I think overall, if I did change this ball data around and make it so anyone's hit out of the middle, the Stealth 2 Plus with the weight in the middle would certainly be higher launching. We all saw that. But what you can see here is there's a big difference in spin. Only 1,000 RPM difference, which then leads to a carry 277, 264, and total to a 8274. So about 15 yards difference there. But you can see on this little table to the right that the Stealth 2 Plus with the weight in the middle seems to be more forgiving, and I'm hitting more fairways more consistently, whereas on average with that weight push forwards, although it is going further, which is a good sign, it's not going straighter, which is a bad sign. So that is a little bit of a warning. If you guys are looking to get the Stealth 2 Plus and put the weight forwards, it will make it a little bit less forgiving. That's what I've realized. Let's move it back all the way now, the weight all the way to the back of the club, and just see if there's any difference. I would expect it to be really high launching now and maybe a little bit spinnier, but let's have a look. That is high in the sky, wow. A little bit out of the toe, but I'm not gonna complain about it being dead straight. Why would I? Why would I at all? 16.5 launch, yeah. Feels a little bit different. I mean, 50 grams of weight is a lot for a fairway wood, so you can actually feel the difference between this being at the back and this being at the front. It's interesting, hitting a draw. It's a good shot though. It's a very good shot. Quite a long way. It spins a little bit down that one just because, again, it's a little bit out of the toe. Glorious, glorious. It does look like moving this weight further back, making it supposedly launch higher, also makes it more forgiving. See, their launch angle wasn't that high, but that's the fastest ball speed at 169 mile an hour. Some could say that was a little bit high on the face. Not too bad. I'm gonna miss the fairway, but it was a great shot. Why am I gonna miss the fairway? Interesting. It's not really that much. It looks like there's quite a big difference between the weight being right by the face and in the middle. But so far, these shots, I'm not really noticing that much of a difference between the middle and the back, apart from the feel. I think it feels a little bit easier to launch. Low on the face with the launch being down. But wow, I think barely missed a fairway with the weight being at the back. So although this entire time of testing, I was looking forward to the weight being as far forward with this rocket ship of a Stealth 2 Plus 3 wood. It appears actually moving the weight back, going up to 170 ball speed. Wow, that is impressive. So other the numbers for when I put the weight right at the front, closer to the face, you can see is the lowest spinning. The difference between them with the weight in the middle and the weight at the back isn't actually that much. So you can see here the slowest ball speed was actually when the weight was at the back, although I actually felt like I struck those the best. Then the launch angles are fairly similar, with the backspin actually being fairly similar as well. I don't think between these three tests, the ball striking was anything that drastically different. But what I do find interesting is, if you're looking at, again, the map on the top here, with the weight moving further back and further back, it went from myself hitting a fade to then myself actually hitting a draw, which you could ask questions about my swing itself, but that's quite a substantial difference by simply moving that 50 gram weight from the lowest CG point to the highest CG point right at the back, and I'm more consistent, I'm hitting more fairways. proper interesting, isn't it? I think when you're looking at a rocket ship 3-wood where you can put the weight really far forwards, that's what everyone looks at. But putting that weight back for some faster swing speed players actually is quite interesting because it makes a very forgiving club that still gets 170-mile-an-hour ball speed and 4,000 spin. A perfect 3-wood, don't you think? Let's not discount the other two actual models in this test though, because we've still got the Stealth 2 and then the Stealth 2 HD to test. So let's put those to the test now. So the Stealth 2, the middle model in these three, is not as adjustable. In fact, nowhere near as adjustable. Hasn't got a 50-gram weight, hasn't got an adjustable shaft as well, but it still features ultra low CG, lower than its predecessor, the Stealth, and it's got this new 3D carbon crown here. So higher MOI, more forgiving. We're noticing a theme, aren't we? Comparing this to the Stealth 2 Plus, it's slightly larger. So some would say it could look slightly more forgiving, but this isn't anything substantial. The Stealth 2 HD is a bit more significant, but comparing these two models, there's not really that big of a difference. And you will see PGA Tour players having the Stealth 2 fairway wood in their bag. It won't just be consistently the Stealth 2 Plus, because this will provide a little bit more forgiveness, slightly larger, perhaps a little bit more spin. Let's find out. Yeah, that was good. That was very, very good. Straight down the middle of the fairway on the 18th at Lytham. Adam Scott would have loved that, wouldn't he? I mean, feel-wise, it feels very similar to the Stealth 2 Plus. I'm not really too surprised by that, and numbers are pretty optimal there. I think a lot of people are going to be wondering, should I invest a bit more and get the Stealth 2 Plus, or should I just go for the Stealth 2? Depends how versatile you want the club to be. This club is still versatile in terms of hitting it out of the fairway, out of the rough. Ultra low CG design means it is going to help a little bit more getting some launch to the ball. If you want something that's a bit more of a rocket ship, if you want something that is a little bit higher launching, the Stealth 2 Plus has that versatility. And that was really out the toe, really, really out of the toe. And I'm in the bunker. I think Adam Scott was in, so that's not great. But so ball speed dropped a little, nothing that's that disastrous, and spin stays actually pretty decent. So owed to the forgiveness of this one, because with the twist face, with that variable thickness of the face, I was expecting when I felt that it was going to actually go about 50 yards left because it was so far out of the toe. But it's really impressive that that ball flight is still pretty optimal. Nearly. Just left the face open. Just left the face open slightly. What's funny with this one is that I actually feel that this is less forgiving, the Stealth 2, than the Stealth 2 Plus with the weight all the way back. You'll probably find that when I look at the numbers, because I reckon these numbers will be down a little bit. But the Stealth 2 Plus with the weight all the way back was a compact model, which is good for better players, but still launched really highly and was so forgiving. That was so over the top. It's gone really low spin, and I'm on the wrong hole. But that was really fast at 312 yards for a fairway wood. Not optimal numbers in terms of the spin. Yeah, I mean, if you look at those numbers there, the average ball speed is really impressive. More impressive than the Stealth 2 Plus. 168 mile an hour, more or less. Launch pretty much in a mid-range, with the spin being okay, a little bit too low maybe, but that's probably down to me being a little bit over the top in that session. But the interesting thing there is when you're looking at the dispersion, it looks to be a bit more all over the place. Now we can pinpoint that to user error as well, but I did find that across the face, it was slightly less forgiving than the Stealth 2 Plus with the weight at the back. If you're talking about a blanket statement when you're trying to put them as just a standard setup for the Stealth 2 Plus and the Stealth 2, they're pretty close together. You're not really going to see that much difference between them. And feel-wise, they felt pretty similar. So I don't think the Stealth 2, the middle option, is really for me. I think the Stealth 2 Plus with the weight all the way to the back is a good option. But if you're looking for something really forgiving, ultra high MOI, massive head, that's when the Stealth 2 HD comes into play. So the Stealth 2 HD standing for high draw, is 200 cc's for a 3-wood. So there is a big, big difference looking at this, pairing it to the Stealth 2 and the Stealth 2 Plus. It does sit slightly closed, just looking at it now. Not too much though, so if you are a drawer of the ball, maybe don't look at this one unless you get it custom fitted somehow, but this certainly is made for a player who doesn't really want to see that right miss, which I don't mind at all. 200 cc's is definitely a confidence builder, and still having low CG means that you're going to have a lot of fun getting this off the ground. Whee! Yeah, that's gone left. A little left. It's actually a really nice shot, but that launch is high, which is not a surprise. So you're going to see a little bit less distance maybe, probably similar spin. Yeah, 3,300, but launch at 17 degrees. So yeah, pretty high. little bit high on the face, and that's gone really high again. Missed the bunkers, go on, I dare you. I dare you to miss the bunkers. Oh, you did. But again, a little bit high on the face, ball speed's dropped a little bit, and you can see with the launch angle up high. But it's certainly an easy club to hit and get that launch. So someone who has a little bit of a slower swing speed, really like this Stealth 2 HD, maybe targeted towards a player who's got a slightly higher handicap as well, because some clubs, let's say the Stealth 2 Plus, are a bit intimidating. This being 200 cc's, and ultra high, their highest MOI yet, makes this a club that you're not going to look down at and be terrified, I hope. Lovely sound to it, really good sound to it. That was my best one with the Stealth 2 HD. I'm gonna say it's not for me. Having that massive club behind the ball makes you really think you can go at it. Yeah, you can see that I'm not really getting the best ball speed, which probably isn't the club for me, but the launch angle is a little bit higher, with spin being pretty much there or thereabouts of a 3-wood. Descent angle pretty good as well. So yeah, a higher launching model and a model that will go left. You can see here all the shots that I did hit are going towards the left side of the fairway, maybe left rough, apologies. And you can see if I'm just comparing that to the Stealth 2, you can look here that the ball speed is higher with the Stealth 2, with the launch being lower and spin being a little bit lower as well. So overall, Stealth 2 Plus, Stealth 2 and then Stealth 2 HD, you are seeing a slight climb in launch angle, you're seeing a slight climb in forgiveness as well. Not as much as I expected, so whatever club you go with, there will be one that's right for you. So in terms of notable differences to the Stealth Fairway family, I think the main one you can see is the Stealth 2 Plus. With that 50-gram weight, it's a lot more versatile, and you can hit a variation of shots from when you do change the weight from the front all the way to the back. I was really impressed when you put that weight all the way to the back, because you get a very forgiving club that launches and spins optimally, but still looks quite compact for what is quite a small 3-wood. There's so much adjustability in the Stealth 2 Plus. Is it really worth the $479? It is a lot of money, definitely in the top of my list. The Stealth 2 is still a good fairway wood, the little middle model. It feels a little bit better than the Stealth, but no major improvements to color scheme, aesthetics. Pretty much the same. So that one's probably not on GolfMagic's recommendation, but the Stealth 2 HD for an ultra forgiving high MOI model doesn't spin too much, doesn't launch too high, and has a little bit of draw bias. I think that will appeal to a lot of golfers. Don't be put off by the HD feature. Don't be put off by a slightly closed face. It's not as drastic as you think, and if you are struggling to hit the fairway, get a fairway finder in the Stealth 2 HD, because it will help you out. Hope you guys did enjoy this video going into detail of all these models, of the adjustability here at Grays Golf and the GC Quad. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. If you're new to GolfMagic, guys, smash that subscribe button as well, if you've got a lot more videos to come. I'll catch you at the next video.